Good evening. How's it going? Just doing some hardware checks real quick. Yeah, I think we're using the correct microphone. So, yeah, it's me. It's been a little while. And after yesterday's disaster of a test stream, I am back. With this tiny, tiny game. To call it a game is a bit generous right now, but it's what we've got. So this is actually dead center, which is kind of nice. Well, almost dead center. It feels dead center, but it's not. Maybe. I mean, it's what, 84? Okay, so we probably want to offset the entire grid a little bit. Oh. Assuming that's the aesthetic we're going for, which it might be. Yeah, so now everything starts a little to the left. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. It still feels wrong though. Did I do that right? Yeah, 84. Oh, it's actually only 2 pixels out. About that should be better. Yeah, that looks somewhat better. Of course, if it's 80 pixels, then it's 10 wide, so there's no actual dead centering going on, which is unfortunate. I suppose we could just shunt it, though. Because I kind of want there to be center things, but maybe it's better as a patch like that, so we'll leave it. So these things are obviously solid, that's fine. I think that actually it should probably be 6 and just give them a little bit of a offset like that. So now they're small so that you can kind of see the lines around them. Which is probably how I have to design all the graphics for this thing if I want it to stand out, so that's fair. Yeah. So I think that this is actually mostly a map-driven game, because what I'm going to end up doing is probably this, bring these over like that, and it's probably 4 and 1 or 2. Yeah, 2. We'll go with 2. And we'll say this is solid, but then we'll also have a watered false stage 1. And those will be more interesting a bit later on. Kind, plant, and wall. So if kind is equal to wall, then we do that, otherwise draw something else. Then if tile stage is equal to whatever, then probably circle. Plus 4, plus 4, make that 3. Nope, I did many mistakes. Forgot some commas, that's the issue. Right, so now, well, that's interesting. I've got weird things going on here with the graphics. So let's see what's going on there. I guess we're probably setting something wrong. And yes, it does look like we kind of are. Mostly because we're setting everything to be floors. Like that. Good evening. Some of my stream tech isn't working quite right. That's a shame. That looks better. Can't walk over it, it's just there. I guess we could kind of just do tile stage so that we had sort of semi-small dot thing, and that looks kind of cute. So maybe we'll do that. Yeah. So then what we can do is actions, class water action is action, like that. Grab the simple version of this, like that, and then it just needs a perform. Hey Paco, it has been a while, I've been busy. Good to see you though, thank you for coming by. Hopefully I look a little better, sound a little better. Oh, the bot kicked in, good job. Fantastic. It's nice to see that working. I'm a little bit sniffly today, I'm afraid. Hopefully you can hear me. So. Perfect. Just fine is how I like to be. Hopefully the video is marginally better, although you might not be able to tell. It's all new hardware that I'm dealing with, so we'll see. Oh. Hello. I wonder if the bot is a bit too zealous. It's a real shame I left the tissues far away. I don't really want to get up though. I have a bit of a cold, I'm afraid, but I said to myself that if I don't stream today, I'm probably never going to stream, and I've been promising it all week, so here we are. What am I doing? I had an action result. Which is probably just this. Like that. So then I need to know what the target is. So I guess we do it by direction and we just say water the thing. Well, there's two ways of doing this thing. You either say I'm going to water the thing that is one space next to me, and then you just assume you're right. Or you go, I'm going to water the thing at this position, and then you validate whether or not that's a valid thing to do. And I don't actually have a good answer to which way to go. I can't remember what the best way to do that is. I suppose that we kind of validate it here, because what we do is we basically say, did I go in the... Yeah, so this is validating. It's basically saying I want to go in this direction, and then it checks, and then if you can't go in that direction, it gives you the failure. And then you don't move, if I remember correctly, I suppose. I don't know. I suppose it matters less because this isn't the turn-based system. You'd have to decide for a turn-based system if that kind of failure counts as a valid move, even if it doesn't do anything or not. But for an action-based system like this one, it's not so bad, actually. You might then emit some event to say, oops, this didn't work, sorry. But I'm not there yet, so we'll leave it with direction for now. Tile equals... I've forgotten a lot of things. CTX dot map. Right, so I've got the source, which is probably the wrong name for this, but I think I can actually do that because I'm cool and smart sometimes. It's like, get me the tile that's here, plus that, please. And then if tile kind is a plant. But yeah, I've been sort of busy with various life things, a lot of upheaval, so just not really been in the mood to do much game development or streaming. But we're sort of clearing a little bit now, so maybe I can start doing it a little bit more regularly again. But I really, really wanted to do something for this jam if I could, because Dome publicly turned 2 years old last week, so I need to celebrate somehow. Sorry, I have to wipe my nose. But yeah, 2 public years is pretty cool. And I'm pretty proud of where we are, all things considered. I think that it's been going pretty well. Bake a cake, I like that idea. I should. Although, that's actually sort of the problem. I don't have a functioning kitchen at the moment. It's been renovated, or being renovated, so baking is a bit difficult to do right now. Hence the stress and the worry and all of the dysfunction. Else, this is totally invalid. Result equal action result dot failure. I wouldn't mind a cake though. As I said, I'm very proud of it. I think it's probably the most consistent project I've worked on. Recreationally speaking, normally I work on something and I put it down and then I never come back. So the fact that I've continued to come back to this thing reasonably consistently for the last, gosh, it's actually more like 4 years, but 2 public years, and actually made it available to the public and supported it and everything, I think is something I'm pretty proud of. So, yeah. Tile stage so we do that, and then we do But yeah, I'm not really planning for this to be a very long stream. I just wanted to do something. Because I've tried twice this week to do streams and something has gone wrong every time. So it's been a bit of a frustrating time. But here we are on video. Everything seems to work. Very happy about that. So if we try and move onto a plant, then we actually want to do this anyway. Hello, welcome. How are you today? Water action. I can't remember. I think I need to do that and then put the deer on there, like so. So do. Ah, we broke. Okay. Wait, seriously? Oh. So these things aren't binding. Oh. No, I did it. I did it. That's unusual. Super. I do that stuff. Vim. Extras. Actions. Yeah, we do the same thing here. So there's that. Did I mess up something? I may have messed up something with the actual director code, so let's have a look. While true. I guess we have to do that. That's very strange. What if though? we do that? Oh, okay. That didn't quite go to plan. It partially worked at least because it disappeared, so there's clearly something going on. I would have oh, right, yeah. So then we come over here, and then you can grow the plant. Look at that, it's magic. Obviously there's absolutely nothing else going on that makes this sensible in any way, but wow, I love that this system kind of works. In case anyone missed it. So we have this little plant in the middle of the ground, and you can go boop, and now it's slightly bigger because you watered it, in theory. And then you can do it again. And then just keep doing it forever, don't worry about it. That's how plants happen. Probably. I do not do plants, so yeah. So then there's actually more to it than that I wanted to put in here, because I planned a lot of stuff already. Forward please, because we already put this stuff in. So then we can actually go to actions and say, and if tile watered, watered is true. And this should now stop me from doing exactly the thing I just did, where you can water it forever. Yeah, so now you can just water it once. So then the next step is to reset that state, and I thought that we would just do that by saying you water a thing once a day, and then you sleep, and then you can water it again the next day if you want to. So we'll probably do that. I'd probably put like a little bed or something. Well, there'll be like a scenery piece that would let you do that, but to begin with, we don't actually need any of that, because this is all just theoretical game design right now. And to put something in is actually about the same as not putting it into, like, basically whether it's a button press or a zone that you walk into, it would function the same way. So we'd call this the sleep action. Like that. And then when you perform this action, then well, tile in CTX tile map.tiles, I think. The map is a little finicky. Do if tile kind is plant, then watered equals false. Like that, nice and simple. Return action result.success. Thank you very much. And then in the scene, you can basically do, did I press a, well, let's call it space just for testing. Sleep action.new, there are no parameters. sure we take that out. Very nice. Of course, there's no obvious way to know that we did the sleep and it was okay. Oh yeah, I need to actually import it. That's fine. See, move action, sleep action. Ding. Oh, it doesn't do it. Okay. Vim core map, please. Yeah, I guess you just can't iterate through everything. That's a surprise. I thought that you could. I will have to make a thing that lets me do that. For now, we will do this the old-fashioned way. Y in 0.6 for X in 0.9 R tile equals ctx.map xy. I love this language sometimes. It's just beautiful. Oh, that looked weird. That's me being overeager with the brackets. Yeah, so then I can press the spacebar like that, and then I can do it again. But then if I just bump into it, nothing happens till I sleep, and then we can do that. I can probably make that a bit better. And so scene. All of the graphics are just for testing right now. The style is correct, the colors, because it's the Nokia Jam constraint, where I've only got the two colors. So that's not a test, but just what this thing looks like visually from a representation point of view. That stuff is how it is. Background equals display.background. Foreground. So I want this to be the foreground, but if tile watered, forgot the bracket. Tab equals background, background equals foreground, foreground equals tab. It does sadden me that there isn't a native swap system. This needs to be background. Oh, kind of. 6. I actually want these to be 8 and fill the whole tile. Oop. So we need to take those out. Thank you. Ding. And then we sleep, and then you grow it again, and then you sleep, and then you grow it again, and then you sleep. And so on. I mean, obviously it won't just get bigger like that. That's just me seeing what this thing looks like in a fairly neat way. And then these squares are just solid walls that you can't move through. You can go off screen right now, that's okay. That's pretty good though. Like, it's rudimentary, but that's kind of your core. Well, I suppose the last thing is harvesting, right? Well, whatever your end game bit is for growing a plant, whether it's a crop that you can actually harvest or if it's just a thing that looks pretty and is there forever. You'd need some way to define that logic per plant type in the future, but I probably won't get into that straight away. Yeah. And then you need to be able to plant something. You can grow it. You can sleep and then grow it some more. And then you just need to be able to pluck it or remove it if you decide you don't want it anymore. And then you can just repeat that cycle, pretty much. And that's kind of it. So, part of the way there already. Planting is trickier, if I think about it, because there's not a clear way to say, like, I am here, put something here. It's fine for this because it's literally me bumping into it, but if there's nothing there yet, bumping into it doesn't help because there's nothing to bump into. So we might need to devise a system for that. Most likely it'll just be a button for a menu or something, and then it just lets you pick a spot. But, well, we'll see. But I can kind of see it already, which is a good sign. One of those things when you work on a project is that you kind of have an idea where you're going, even if you're not all the way there yet. It's a dangerous situation though, because if you think, if you can see it enough, then you might not find it worth it to actually get there. So, I'm not quite at that point. I do want to produce like a complete unit of a thing, like a full slice for this. Although it may not look very pretty. Obviously, because you're a pea walking around. There is something satisfying about just moving stuff on screens though. I don't know what it is. It's just, yeah, I can stand in here and just but yeah. What do I do then? So I suppose that, yeah, we kind of are. What I'd like to do is try and put together as much of the mechanical system as possible before I start working on the interactive layer. This sort of framework has got two layers to it. It's got the model, which is the game logic, systems and data, and then it's got a presentation layer on top that does all the rendering and the fancy visualizations and menu picking and stuff. And I want to focus on that bottom layer first because that defines everything. And then once that is kind of in place, I can start putting that UI on top. That's what I think. And then I can start getting fancy with animations and making it interactive in a cool way. Or at least in a visually pleasing way. Because at the moment this isn't very interesting. Beyond the fact that it's fun to move around. So, what we need is Vim actions. Is actually something like this, which is our harvest action. Arbitrarily, let's say for now that if it's on its 4th stage, then the tile just becomes like that. Probably. And then to do emit. Hey Ben, good to see you. Thank you for coming by. How's it going? I got a whole computer that's new. Is the video better? Oh, that's good to know. The previous ones were definitely, the previous camera was very much not a good camera, so I'm glad that there's some improvement since. Well, since I've only managed to work on something for about an hour and a half, the contents of this stream and the previous stream, I think we're doing pretty well. Yeah, I did not get to work on this very much. There's actually different things here, so there's the stage. Was 3, we do that. Else we do this stuff. Okay, there's a little bit of a delay on the bot greeting thing, which is a small shame, but it's what I get for hosting my own tech. Once I finish this little bit of construction, I will show what we have so far, assuming it's not completely broken. Take that out now. But if we're doing that, then we should probably... No, that's fine. Yeah, we'll leave it like that. So we've got this little space. I'm the P that's moving around. I've got these little blocks here, which are walls, so I can't just walk into them. Walk through them even. And then I've got this little thing on the floor, which I have watered, and so it's now gotten a little bigger. If I was to take a nap, then I can come back over and water it again. But if I have already watered it, you can't water it more. So we go for a third time, and then you can just harvest it straight away, which is not ideal. So, yeah. So I'm going for like a Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon sort of growing plant farm sim thing. That's the idea. But without some of the more punitive systems in those games. I just wanted it to be something fairly chill that you could pick up, put down, without having to rush about and do stuff, and also retain some of that small scope that you get in the early game. The early game for Stardew Valley is kind of like my favourite bit, so I just wanted like a little patch of ground where you grow stuff. Oh, you definitely should try it. It can be really chill, but it has this progression curve to it, and after playing it a few times now, from the beginning a few different times, I do sometimes, I've realised where on that curve I most enjoy myself, so yeah. But I play peculiarly compared to most people anyway, so I imagine you'd enjoy it. It's a good thing to relax to, and it's the design of it is nicely time boxed, so if you had like 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes in a day that you could play a game, it's a nice thing you can do for 20, 30 minutes, or even just 15 if you're quick. It works well, I think, as a Switch game for that reason. It's got that very pick up, put down behaviour to it. But you can also do it for fairly long stretches if you're dedicated. I don't think it works very well if you try and do lots of Stardew Valley in one go. But it's fun, I enjoy it. The multiplayer definitely helps though. But you can also play it solo. Arctico, what's that? Let's take a look. That's pretty, well, pretty. I mean, this does look like the kind of thing I want in the world, so yeah. Maybe. It's the sort of thing I've tried to build a couple times. Yeah, that exploration thing is something I'm pretty interested in from a game point of view. It works well for a 3D environment to have that kind of gameplay. I've been trying to do it in 2D in the past, and it's a challenge. I think it's still possible, but it's definitely a challenge. Yeah, I definitely have a couple computers that could probably run it though. Outside of the ridiculous machine I'm currently using. But yeah. Sorry, I have a bit of a cold, so I'm being all gross. I do, but it doesn't have Windows on it, so that makes it a bit harder. I mean, I have another machine that could probably do it, but I don't want to boot it up. I may try and do some streaming from the PC at some point, as a test, but it'll be a very different kind of stream to what I do usually. Mostly because the machine is from 2006. So, yeah. Anyway. So yeah, the thing that's missing from this whole little game loop is actually just putting another plant down. Oh. Ah, I know. That's a bug. One, two, three. Yeah. And then I can walk over it, I think, yeah. But it was actually 1, 2, 3, and then it goes. Yeah, that's the idea. I mean, I've got the page up here. Dedicated to making games with the restrictions of the Nokia 3310. So you get 2 colors because it only had 2 possible colors on those displays. No transparency and a fixed, very small resolution for the logical game display. I mean, obviously this is bigger, but functionally it's only got that many pixels, so that's how it's allowed. Also, the sound should be monophonic, so you can't do more than one audio thing at a time. So if you have music, you can't have sound effects. If you have sound effects, you can't have music. You can't have more than one sound effect playing at once. It doesn't really go into it here. So in theory, you can use any sound effect, but I have put together a synth so that I can do Nokia, like classic sounding audio. So it'll be fairly realistic for the time period. And then you can only have up to 12 controls, as if you had a keypad. No mouse controls. No. It's just, it looks like it. And I've got the audio synth to sound like it. If I could get something like that to run on a Nokia, I'd be really impressed. That would be, I don't think that'd be possible. You might be able to get Ren to run on an old phone, although I don't know what sort of programming interface they provide. So, yeah. No, I'm just living within the synth. I think it's public as well. Noxynth. Yeah, it's public. So this was the reason that I put plugins into Dome, so that I could put this in there. Although there's actually a lot of flexibility within this code, so you could definitely hack it and do other synth things. But you can also feed it like actual Nokia ringtones and it'll play it. Because I put a whole sequencer in there. Or you can play it like the piano. But yeah, that's why I started doing the plugin stuff, was so I could do audio custom things. And then we have graphics plugins, and then you can do your general plugin stuff as well, I suppose, outside of that. Yeah, it's pretty good. I have so many projects now. Kill me. But yeah, I'm gonna pull this into this at some point and make sounds with it, because that'd be cute. So, oh, there's an idea. Okay, so where's my harvest action? Harvest. Oh god, I have so many projects. I keep getting more projects. Please stop me getting more projects. So many projects. Yep. That is the thing that happens. And if I'm on a project and I start thinking about this other cool, really good idea, I should start working on that other project. And now I have two that are unfinished and will never be finished. The only thing this didn't happen to was Dome. And that's because it kind of enables other projects. So that's maybe the secret. Cartomancer isn't strictly speaking done, though. I could do more. I want to do more, but not right now. Kind of. Exactly. Cartomancer was fantastic, though. That is honestly the best thing I have ever made with Dome. So, I am very proud of it. And it proves that Parcel works, which is very cool. Although this is also using Parcel, so. Yeah. And, oh. Oh, I should probably change how that one actually works. Oh no, we'll put it in there. But yeah, I have lots and lots of active projects, and I say that loosely. Projects that I am trying to actively work on, but I keep jumping around between things. But that's one of the reasons that I wanted to stream from that PC that I was talking about rather than from this thing, so that I can work on some of those projects on that machine, because that's partly what it's for. But I'm not actually sure if it can handle the streaming, which is why it'll be interesting to try and do. Okay, so can I just plant? No, that's clearly not the right thing. Yeah, my OBS setup is actually really complicated. I have done that exporting because I had to move it from the old machine to this machine. Getting the images and stuff set up wasn't too bad. My Stream Director server tool was really the pain point. But this is a modern machine with a graphics card that does stuff and multiple cores. The laptop that I'm talking about has 2 cores and 4 gigs of RAM. So I'm not so optimistic that OBS would actually run reliably. But I have alternative ideas for how to do it. It would just make it into a different kind of stream from what I would do here. Because you probably wouldn't be able to see my face. Oh, well, I'm an idiot. That's not how that works. If I had Chrome installed, yeah. I got this. Okay, so let me tell you the story of this. I was at my parents' place a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I think now, and I uncovered this old laptop that I'd been given to look after, play with, whatever. It was from 2006, as I said. And this machine had been retired, no one wanted it, and I started looking up stuff about it for fun, and I realized, oh yeah, this thing is like entirely user serviceable, so you can open it up and replace bits and add bits and just upgrade it and whatever. So I wanted to see how much I could actually squeeze out of it. So I took it up from 1 gig of RAM to 4, because that's the maximum allowed. I swapped out the processor, so it's now a 64-bit processor, dual core, rather than the 32-bit thing, and the speed has gone up from 1.7 megahertz to like 2.3, which is pretty good. That's still not working. It's a bit odd. I swapped out for an SSD, so it's at least a reasonable disk speed. And then I put Arch on it. And it flies, sort of. For very simple programming, at least, it works. I don't think that's actually called return, is it? I think it's actually enter. No. I always get those ones wrong. So yeah, I also, I put in, it has a slot for a SIM card, like a phone SIM card. So I installed a 3G modem. And it's just going to be like my sort of travel machine, personal travel machine, because it's pretty solidly built, it's not very heavy. And I thought I'd like do some low-level Linux-based programming stuff on there. It does run Dome with a little bit of help. And I can do some other projects too. I want to use it for Game Boy development and things. So, yeah. But I'm not entirely sure if it'll stream. Well, that's the thing. I'm getting really annoyed at a bunch of stuff. One of them being that, as you say, a lot of software needs way more RAM than it actually needs, or uses more RAM than it needs. So I'm exploring ways of using older hardware and not throwing stuff away. I don't like to throw stuff away if I can reuse it. And so I wanted to know, how usable is this machine from a decade and a half ago? If you treat it with some good parts of carefully chosen software. So it doesn't use Chrome, because that's ridiculous for this sort of machine. I put some browser on it that is very lightweight, doesn't run JavaScript by default and things. So I can search the web, no problem. I kind of got inspired. There was this article recently in Life at 800 megahertz. Obviously I'm not going at 800 megahertz, but still. So there was this article about someone living on this machine, which is much worse than mine. And it got me curious as to how I could survive like that. So if I didn't have to use this machine for work, I would be using that other one only. I called it the Nomad. So it's an interesting read. Yeah. So I put Arch on it. I am using the Awesome Window Manager, which I've never used before, so that's been a bit of an experience. And I'm trying to write my own GUI toolkit from scratch. So yeah, like a million projects all bundled into that machine. Help. I think the thing that's silly about it is that even though it's a 64-bit processor, it can still only have 4 gigs of RAM because of the design of the motherboard and stuff. So, yeah. But I like it. Well, I think in their case it's they're doing it out of sort of necessity. I think they've got some chronic conditions that require them to have certain ergonomic comfort to their work, as well as other things. So I mean, it's worth reading for the full context. Yeah, that sort of thing. So you make choices based on what you can use, I suppose. And if this is the machine that you have and can comfortably, safely use, you make do. But yeah, I don't like this constant upgrade cycle of getting rid of a machine that is completely usable just because there's a shiny new one. And I realize the hypocrisy here. The only reason that I have switched to this machine over my old work machine is that my old machine was running out of keys. Like, the keys were falling off the keyboard. But there's no way to repair that because it's a design flaw. So, also the battery is actually not lasting, and there's no way to repair that either. So work won't repair it for me. Shrug. At least in my personal choices, that's what I'm trying to do. Sorry, this was a bit of a rant. Yeah, but it doesn't have to be. If it was made better, it just wouldn't have to be that way. Like, the Nomad has better battery life than my MacBook Pro that I had to get rid of for work. And that's embarrassing. And it's not even at 100% capacity. So don't know. Yeah. It is what it is. What now? Okay, so that's working at least. Am I just missing out on the thing that actually changes stuff? So action. Oh. It's because there's no tiles there yet, I think. Yeah, because now I can put them down wherever. And we can just go and water the tiles. Yeah. That's basically like the whole game loop right there. It's just plant stuff, grow it, water it, sleep, and repeat. And I just need to make it prettier and more obvious. And also, sleeping should probably have other consequences or something. And other things. But that's like the core system, I suppose. So I'm probably going to call it here for today. Yeah. I assume that worked. Yeah, so that brings up me. Yeah. I've been having problems with my keypad all week. I don't look well. Implemented core growth systems. Oh. Oh, I know why. Just some admin stuff. Director, commit. not set up for that though. That's annoying. Anyway, I'm probably done for the evening. Thank you everybody who came by, listened, watched, whatever. If you haven't already, please make sure to follow the channel, get notifications when I go live, which will hopefully be more regular, although this week has been a bit of a mess, so yeah. I don't think I'll be back tomorrow though, probably next week. So yeah, this is me signing off. Goodbye.